Hello and welcome back. Today we're looking at high jump and the scoring for it. I felt it needed its own video. So I'm already here in Open Boys high jump. Before we get started, we probably want to have some bar heights established. At the moment, up the top, we've got a red 1.2 meters. That's the currently selected bar height, but there are no other bar heights. Normally what you probably do is add a bunch in before you start, and if you need more bar heights on the day, you would add them in as needed. So let's start by adding in a few more. Now at the moment I can increase the bar heights by 5 centimeters, but I can just stick in anything there. You can increase the bar heights by whatever you've got. I've set 5 centimeters as being the default because you can change it to something like 10 or whatever you want really. So let's raise the bar. That adds in 1.3 in, and if I keep on clicking that button, 1.4, 1.5, etc. So I'm adding a few in here. Alright, we've got a lot in there now. Let's go back to the 1.2 bar height. It's the only bar height with competitors in it at the moment. The way that this event works is those competitors are actually eliminated as they go through the bar heights. Part of the reason I set it up this way is because I didn't want to clutter perhaps an iPad or a phone with too much detail and too many places to insert data. So I separated into each of the bar heights and only displaying the competitors that are competing at each height. So as they get eliminated, your list of competitors gets smaller. Again, that just helps with actually scoring at the event itself, which some of you may want to do. Okay, let's start putting in some attempts. So like normal, an X will mean that you didn't clear and a circle will mean that you cleared. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few in. Of course, Bobby, if he failed once, he'll probably fail a few times and then he maybe passes. Okay, I'm going to put in a few clears here. Put one person in here that failed totally. Maybe one person that failed and never tried again. And one person that failed and then got it on the second attempt. Okay, that's sort of a general idea of what's going on, and I'll just leave the rest blank. So we're done scoring for 1.2, they've all had their jump. And now we can go to 1.3. While the bar is being set up, the scorer, if he's at the event indeed, can do this. This is the one you're probably most likely to want to do. You want to progress those competitors who actually cleared the previous bar height and eliminate everyone else. There's a couple other options here. We could just get everybody from the previous height if we feel like they're just all going to give another go. Or we could just grab every single competitor. And now that's different from this one because there may have been previous bar heights where competitors were eliminated. Perhaps some people won't even want to try. Say, for example, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have T'Challa. He's just opted to say, look, 1.2 is too easy for me. I'm not even going to give it an attempt. I'll jump in at 1.4 later on. So in those sorts of cases, you might have eliminated him, but he wants to jump in later because he just knows it's just too easy and he can't be bothered. And I know I've certainly had sports days where kids are like that. So just you want to bring all the competitors back in at a certain bar height, that's fine. All right, so let's do the generally regular thing and just eliminate those who didn't clear. All right, so only Bobby, Bruce, Calvin, Dane, and James. So obviously David has been eliminated, Eric has been eliminated, James got through even though, he failed once, and so did Bobby. He failed twice, but he cleared it. And the rest didn't participate, so they're not in. So this makes it now easier to enter all my heights and to see who needs to jump at 1.3 at the event, as I can just go through these competitors, and I don't have to, worry about who's been eliminated and cross out names or anything like that. All right, so let's say they all do fine, and just let's move on. And we will proceed those to the next bar height. Okay, once again, like I said, perhaps someone wants to jump in here. So I could have said add all the people in here, but I could just go, well, look, T'Challa didn't even give it a chance. Back here, he just was bored and thought, I'll wait for 1.4. So I'll add the competitor in for T'Challa. And he can go in, and he can start his jumping at 1.4, if that's what he's chosen to do. I don't know if that's something you allow, but, maybe you do. All right, let's do some more. Let's eliminate Bobby. Let's let Bruce have a bit of a stumble here before he finally gets it. Let's also have Calvin here stumble once but get it quicker, because I want to show you, tie breaking. So So I'll keep this in mind, and I'll just clear everybody else. Oops. There we go. Okay, let's move on to 1.5 and advance those who got through. Everyone, I think, mostly got through, except for Bobby, who's out. Okay. Now, I'm going to say Bruce and Calvin at this point. You know, as best they tried, they couldn't get it. So their best height will be at 1.4, if that makes sense. But Calvin is slightly better here because he cleared. You'll see that. I'll show you that later. Okay, let's move everyone else on. Let's give him just some things, and let's move on to the next thing, and let's advance competitors. Now, even though I haven't finished, doing all my scoring for these guys, I could go to my results tab. I'm already starting to see some stuff here because I've been refreshing the page a bit, but let's just refresh one more time. Okay, so Eric's best was a foul, David's was a foul. That was in round, the first bar height. And as you can see, we've got, what else we got? Everyone cleared 1.3, but Bobby didn't clear 1.4, so his best was 1.3. Let's just check that. Yep, 1.3. Bruce and Calvin cleared 1.4, but they didn't clear 1.5, so they're tied at 1.4. Now you'll notice this here, this is what I was getting at. We've got this here for tie breaking, and ReadyGo manages all this. It does J and M, and I'm understanding that J is the number of jumps that they took at the tie. So at the tie, Bruce at 1.4 took 3 jumps at the tie, and Calvin took 2 jumps at the tie. So he'll actually be better than Bruce when we establish some things later on. And then if those two are the same, then it actually comes up to how many misses they had total previous to that. So I might add a few more data points in that show that. Okay, let's jump to 1.6. And yeah, let's have a few misses here from Dane, but he clears. And T'Challa is just doing well, and so is James still. Let's not raise the bar. Let's go to the next bar height and advance. Okay, so remember, I've got Dane here. He's having a bit of trouble, but he's getting there. He's still having a bit more trouble. He clears it again. So do these guys. Let's go to the next and could do it again. But now they're going to bum out here, all of them. Well, not all of them. I'm going to let one person go through. I'm going to let T'Challa go through. And we'll move on to the next thing. And those that cleared the previous height. It's just T'Challa by himself here. I'll say he clears. And of course, this is at the point where you're going to go, oh, I need to have more bar heights. So let's raise the bar. And you've realized that you've just done 5 centimeters and you're meant to do 10. No problem. Come down to here, modify a correct bar height, and just fix it up with the correct bar height. Or perhaps T'Challa just says, you know what, chuck it right up to 210. And you go, sure thing, let's do it. 210, 2.1 meters. Let's advance the competitors. T'Challa's in, and he clears it. And he says, yep, raise it another 5 centimeters. So you do. We advance him, and he bums out now. Let's actually just have it so that there's one bum out, and just show that we don't actually have to have all of them there. Now we're done. Let's refresh here. No placings yet. It hasn't established that yet. But now that I'm at a point where I'm calling it, we're going to have T'Challa should be first. Now we got the second place is 1.7, but I forgot that I actually wanted to show you something with that. So I'm going to go back and change that so I can show you that these two are going to have the exact same, at the same height at the tie. They're going to do equally. So they missed and then they got it, missed and got it. So at the bar height for 1.7, they're actually going to be the same. I'm just going to refresh that so I can show you. All right, 1.7. So at 1.7, Dane took 2 jumps to get it, and so did James. But previously, Dane had 4 misses, and previously James had only had 2. So James will be our second place runner-up, and Dane will be our third place runner-up. Finally, these two guys will be not tied either, because again, it took Calvin. He'll be our 4th place, only 2, and Bruce will be our 5th place. Bobby should be our 6th place, and then tied for 7th with the exact same is a foul at the beginning. So let's update our placings. Here we go. That's it. And it's all worked. And as you can see, It's figured all of that out. Again, like I said, even though these are tied, their actual scores are calculated in here. 2 misses versus 4 misses here, and in this case 2 jumps at the tie versus 3 jumps at the tie. So I hope that shows you how you might want to score high jump and how it all works there. I think it's pretty usable, and I hope you don't find that too difficult to get around and all the little options. Thank you for watching.